Hi, I'm Scott Laird, and we are up at Lake Lure today. We're going to be speaking about a brand new culinary class with Tim Koch, Anita Koch, and Richard Arnold. We are in their beautiful home today. We're sitting at the table. Now, Tim and Anita and Richard, for that matter too, all have experience with hosting a lot of people and having a big culinary class. And each one of them has different experiences with that. And so we want to just explain a little bit about what this is. This is it's like a week-long thing where people actually stay over here. And Tim, if you could just give us a brief overview, what is this class?
Well, it's a class that focuses on the culinary arts. And folks will come and stay with us for a week. The program begins on Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock, and it'll finish the following Friday at 1 p.m. And we're going to make just dozens of wonderful recipes. And they're going to get to learn all the different aspects of raw food. Well, at least as much as we can fit into 1 week.
Okay. Now, what you may not know about Tim is that Tim has some training. Just recently graduated as, what was your title now?
Well, I'm a raw food chef.
Oh, perfect.
But you know, anybody that prepares food for their family is a chef. Mm-hmm. Anyone who goes in the kitchen and prepares food for their friends or their family is a chef. And how much training you get depends on how much time you have and how deep your pocketbook is. But we've been involved with Hallelujah Acres now for 8 years, going on 9 years. We became health ministers in 2003. And that started my journey into raw food and the preparation. In fact, I got started by being the head juicer in our house. And that was my responsibility in the beginning. And from there, it just blossomed. And I just kept reading and I kept studying. And last year, in fact, at this time of the year, in the month of December, I went out to Matthew Kenny's Academy in Oklahoma City and did an intensive level 1 and level 2 training to get, if you want to call it, a certification in raw foods. But it's been an 8-year journey, and I absolutely love it. And we're just looking forward to this new class and passing on what we know to all the new friends and guests that we're going to meet.
Okay. Well, Anita, as we mentioned, this is probably not for beginners, right? This is more of an advanced class. What makes it a little more advanced?
Well, because we expect that people who will come to take this will have some preliminary knowledge of raw foods and cooking skills a little bit. We're going to take them to another level. Okay. So we will be doing some basic knife skills, but when you're doing gourmet cooking and gourmet, I shouldn't say cooking, but gourmet food preparation, there are some very particular ways to use a knife to get the desired result, to make beautiful food. You know, you eat with your eyes first. So we're going to teach them how to do all those beautiful cuts and so forth.
Wonderful. Now you also have some experience as a restaurateur, correct?
I do. Back in the 80s, I owned one of the first raw, well, it wasn't all raw, it was a natural foods restaurant called Sunflower Cafe on Long Island. And we were thrilled that the New York Times really focused on us, and we got to be very popular very quickly. And I was actually a novice at the time, so I had to learn very quickly. But I've always been into food and some light catering and giving lots of demos over the years. So I've been a foodie for a long time.
Great. Well, so Tim and Anita, you both have experience in this kind of thing, and as we mentioned, Richard, you have experience as well. What is your take?
Well, I grew up always loving food. Obviously, growing up with my mom, she got me into cooking at a young age. And when I was in college, I also cooked in a French restaurant, a fine dining restaurant, for about a year while I was in school. I also did a hospitality program at Florida State that definitely emphasized a strong restaurant and food curriculum. So I learned a lot there, and just a huge food enthusiast, really into gourmet cooking, and now in the last year or two gotten very excited about raw cooking. So
excellent. Well, we have three people here that know what they're talking about. What are people going to learn here exactly? Tim, what are some of the things that people are going to be experimenting with?
Well, we're going to get into fermented foods, cheeses.
What kind of cheeses? Are we talking regular dairy cheeses?
No, not dairy cheese, but nut cheeses. Oh. But cheese that actually ages and ferments. It's very gourmet and delicious. We're going to get into a lot of dehydrating and crackers and breads, dehydrated raw breads, very interesting desserts, different cakes and such that you can make from raw flour. Just a wide variety of gourmet dishes that we're really excited about.
Now, just the food prep is not all that happens here. They get to stay overnight, and it's a beautiful view outside the window here of the mountains. And they get to take home some goodies. Anita, what's that? There's a little drawer you have beneath you, right?
Yeah.
What's in there?
Well, each person, each student is going to have their own section, and they'll each be using a mini P or mini food processor.
Okay.
Thanks, Rich. And they'll each have a pull-out tray that will house many of the tools that they're going to need. They will take home a beautiful rod and knife set, and they will take home the aprons that they're going to wear. We're excited about that. And they'll have a lot of wonderful things in here, some different things like rings for making the cheeses, things that probably they wouldn't necessarily have at home. We're going to introduce them to a lot of new equipment, not necessarily that it's expensive or hard to do, but that they will learn how to use if they choose to have, and the mini P.
Okay, now, when someone comes away from this, Tim, what kinds of things do you think they'll be able to do that they were not able to before they came here?
Well, they'll be able to make the nut cheeses, like I first said. They'll be able to make cakes. We look at the cakes in the bakery when we go to the grocery store, and we think, oh, no, look at that beautiful cake. It's too bad that it's made from white flour and white sugar. But believe it or not, you can make a regular size raw cake with a beautiful icing, and it's delicious, and it'll just blow your family away. So those are a couple of the things they'll be able to take away from our program. As well as we're going to emphasize plating skills as well. So it's not just a matter of putting let's say a taco plate together, and we have some great taco recipes, but it's how do you plate it? How do you make it look really gourmet and appetizing? And so we're going to emphasize that as well.
Now, this all falls in line with Hallelujah Acres 85% raw, 15% cooked, correct?
Correct.
Absolutely.
Now, something else we want to mention is while they're here, all of their meals are provided for. So not only do they get to eat and taste everything that we make during the day, some days we'll have more to sample than others, but we're going to be providing lunch and dinner for them. And of course, out of all of that raw food, there's going to be a cooked dish, and that'll be made in the kitchen while we're out here preparing the raw food. But they'll get the recipe to that, and they'll get to see how it's put together, and Richard's really good at that in the kitchen. So there's just going to be an abundance of great food to eat, lots of fun, and great sights to see in the area as well.
Now, as it stands, that every single time, that's now 4 times a year, correct?
Yeah, 3 to 4 times.
3 to 4 times a year, that's what the plan is, okay. And now, we had mentioned that that this is only, it is a class for people who want to come and learn about food prep. This doesn't have anything to do with helping people overcome disease, does it?
No, no. It is, of course, the healthiest way of eating, but we don't expect to have people who are ill and needing to heal. This is for people who want to take their culinary skills up a notch, so to speak. So we're going to completely focus on that. Now, Rhonda's classes over the years have been wonderful, but she basically demonstrates. This is the first hands-on where everybody gets to make everything with us.
Now, people stay here overnight. They're here for, it's a 5-day class.
Correct.
Right? So they're going to be
Yes.
staying here several nights. You have wonderful bedrooms in the home here.
Yes, we do.
Very comfortable. Everyone has their own private bathroom and everything. It's a wonderful setup. And so take us through, someone wakes up in the morning for this new culinary class. Take us through a day as much as you've got it planned so far.
Okay, well, we plan to start the day about 8 o'clock in the morning.
We'll provide carrot juice.
Yeah, they'll get their
And barley
carrot
max.
juice and barley max all day. We have so many teachings and concepts in the 5 days that are sequential, more or less, that we will be using those hours fully to demonstrate the concepts of what we're trying to teach, the recipes that go with that, some new ingredients they may never have used before, like Thai coconuts and a number of different Irish moss and things like that, that they probably have never used before. And we'll spend the days doing that with a break for lunch. For our gourmet lunch, we'll probably have a buffet in the kitchen, and people will take their food and they can come back here or wherever. We have so many places to sit and lounge and eat and have a good time and talk. So there's plenty to do, and we'll wrap up the day. We'll come back after lunch. We'll continue with what we've been making. And they will have the evenings where if they want to sightsee, there's plenty of places in the area because this is a major tourist attraction, Lake Lure and Chimney Rock and lots of places to go. And we have lots for people to do around here.
So this is an all-inclusive
All-inclusive.
culinary week.
All-inclusive.
It is.
So they'll start at 8 in the morning and we'll probably wrap up around 4 p.m. in the afternoon, 4 to 5. And then they have the rest of the time is theirs. And of course we provide dinner, but if they wanted to go to Asheville or go into Chimney Rock or wherever they want to go and grab a dinner there, that's perfectly okay. And then we'll start again 8 o'clock in the morning.
Right. And you mentioned they take home the knife set?
They have a beautiful rod knife set. They'll have beautiful
aprons.
aprons that'll have the Culinary Academy logo on it. And
they'll be able to take home, we're going to encourage everyone to bring some containers, or they can pick up some containers at the local grocery store. But as we are making food throughout the week, everything that they make at their station, they can either eat or save it, we'll refrigerate it, and they can take it home with them.
Now you mentioned something about fermented foods that
Yes,
they get to take home too. Tell me about that.
well, we're going to have individual mason jars, quart jars for them to make the fermented food that we're going to make. We'll be doing things like kimchi. I'll be teaching quick pickling that overnight you can pickle. And they'll each be taking home 2 mason jars loaded with healthy cultured vegetables. So.
And a recipe book as well, is that correct?
Yes, recipe book as well. Recipe book and basic concepts explained and the outline of the week, all of that will be in there.
What do you think the best thing about coming here would be for someone? What would be the best experience, do you think?
Well, we hear from a lot of people that they just want to learn how to make food more variety, more than just salads. We really believe that this is the cutting edge. People are getting very excited worldwide about this raw food phenomenon, and it is a paradigm shift. And people need to learn it and know how to make, not just housewives, but we get a lot of men, from all different walks of life, from many places around the world that want to really boost up their culinary skills to not only interest people in gorgeous food, but how they can be healthy and still have beautiful, delicious food at the same time.
And that is the essence of Raw Gourmet Living, the essentials of healthy cuisine. If you want more information, go to hacres.com.